this series, we're going to talk about the very basics, and in this particular video, we're going to talk about the miscellaneous. So first things first, you can choose your name here. You could be whoever you want to be. I myself am the Buttman. You can choose your crosshair and the size. This is what I like. Um, Different people have different things that float their boat. And you can also choose your character. I am this guy. You can be whoever you desire. And then in these things, you don't use them. We have an IP address that you can type if you press T, or I think if you press slash, you can type in commands. The first thing that you'll have to talk about are actually the options. So in the first thing here is game. Um, I would say ragdoll deaths are pretty good. They help, especially if you have this number. You could see them fly if you set it to like 20 or something. I like to keep it in the mid round. Um, it helps to know if a player is alive or dead or something like that. More on that in the future. Full bright, you can do whatever you like here. I don't know if I changed this before. This right here is very important. It's called the hit sound. When you hit somebody, it tells you, it's like a little ding noise. It's kind of like in Minecraft when you hit somebody with an arrow in the release version of Minecraft. Um, don't click on this. It's not very helpful. I cannot remember my settings, so it would be bad if I click that. So there's that. The hit sound helps you with hearing people, so you can kind of tell like where this is going, where you kind of have to have all these sonic or visual cues, or audio cues, um, uh, to help gauge where people are in this game. Because this is an FPS shooter and it's a really fast-paced game, you kind of have to know where everybody is and where everybody's gonna be in the next 3 seconds, in the next 5 seconds, and where you should be in the next 3 seconds and the next 5 seconds. If you want to show FPS, you can. Damage screen, damage compass, I forgot what those are. Alright, next setting is this. You can set it to whatever you want. My PC that I'm currently doing this tutorial on is a decent PC, so I have this all pretty high. However, in the Institute PCs, I actually have them all low. It helps, I think. Um, One thing that does help is actually the resolution, which I'll get to later. Field of view, it's up to you, really. I set this to 180, so that actually changes, I think, on the video recording, probably changes it. Depending on the map, it's very gloomy, so I set it high. And then depending on the map, it's too bright, so I set it low. Usually I have it around this time. Um, Okay, I forgot what these are. The resolution, so I'm on a 1920 1080 is my native resolution. In the Institute, I actually have it at 4:3 and then have it a stretched screen. This is more about the whatever graphic driver settings you have as well, so I will not touch on that. Um, if you have some weird issues, oftentimes a combination of this resolution tweaking and your graphic driver settings will help with the any issues. Usually, it's noticeable if you see any screen tearing, if you see any lags in the when you're moving your mouse, but your screen doesn't move with you on time. All these things are typically beyond the scope of the game itself, and it's more about how the graphics driver handles Cube 2's error brought in. This game is really old. It's around, I don't know what version this is, but it's in the early 2010s to mid 2000s. So depending on which version you play, so there is some issues that you have to tweak on your own. Sound, mouse. So here, the UI sensitivity is only just the UI here, whereas the actual mouse sensitivity of the game. So I set it to zero point 0.4 at 800 dots per inch. Um, that's because I like low sensitivity, and other people prefer a much higher sensitivity. In fact, I think most people prefer a higher sensitivity. It's up to you. It's how you play. It depends on how you want to play. So this is rather low. Um, the keys. So you move around with your typical WASD. Jump, space, attack. Toggle zoom is actually this is not the default. You can set it to mouse 2. Mouse 1 is the left click, and mouse 2 is the right click. So in this game, you usually move around with the WASD. So you jump with spacebar, and typically you shoot with mouse 1, and sometimes you zoom with mouse 2. Um, and then as I said, and you can type whatever you want um, with the T, And then I just changed this to team. So there is a team chat. So team chat only your team can read it. And then show scores. I think you can show your score only in games. I'll show that later on. Other than that, hmm, I don't know what this is. Okay, and then drop flag. You could drop flag. Yes. So it's a when there's a flag game, which is what we usually play, is a CTF or called or capture the flag. Um, you basically have two teams. Each person has a flag at their spawn point, and you try to take each other's flag and take it back home, and you score a point if you do. So there's that. That's pretty much all you really need to know. It's just frag and shoot and steal flags. So chat console, you can modify these things however you like. I like it this way. Um, One thing that's really important to actually have on is other player frags. So if you don't have this on, it's not on by default. You cannot see who's who or who's alive, and it's really bad if you don't know who's alive, who's dead. Because if it's a 3v3 match and there's one person on the opposite team, one person is on the other side of the map, and you're trying to defend your map. You have two people defending your flag, and you have a bunch of people attacking. If, say, uh, both of the people defending the flag dies, then you're kind of stranded, and you have to figure out whether to go back and defend your flag or whatnot. Basically, long story short, you really need this context clue to figure out where to be, what position, at what time. So that's why you have to have other player flags as well. Other than that, mm, it's not that important. So there is that. And then the configs. So I have configs. So uh, these things are always auto loaded every time I boot up Zarabraten. You can write your own configs as well. So uh, this is how I know without having to tweak the settings every time. So that's it. Okay, so other than that, I guess we go further ado. So I'll see you in the next video. See ya!